If you are a homeschooler, a current homeschooler, a future homeschooler, somebody who's in charter school but considering going private homeschooling, somebody who's considering taking their children out of public school, private school, if you've been homeschooling for 5 minutes or you've been homeschooling for 5 years, every homeschooler or wannabe homeschooler or possible homeschooler, this video is for you. This is a must-see video. Who am I? I'm Jacqueline. This is homeschoolhangout.xyz, and I am a veteran homeschooler of 18 years. Yes, 18 years. And I make videos on how to homeschool with peace, clarity, and hopefully success as you walk through this adventure with your children, especially in the state of California. And this is the video. This is the video. And let me summarize it and then explain it. You need to calm down. Yes, the Taylor Swift song is playing in my head. You need to calm down. Okay, what do I mean by that? I get calls, comments, questions, coaching, people in real life, people in virtual life. And if any of you are wondering if you're the person who's inspired this video, you're not. It is something that I make every once in a while because I get so much of this all the time of, what if I'm not doing the right thing? What is the magic formula? I do this, this, and this, and they're so busy. Will that get me success? What if they don't go to the right school? What if, they don't graduate from high school and are ready for med school? No, I don't get that one so much. But what if? And you need to calm down. You need to calm down. Now, what am I not saying? I am not saying throw your hands up and what will be, will be. Que sera, sera. No, I am not saying, oh, don't worry about paperwork. It's never important. Oh, don't worry about whether or not you can teach them how to drive or how to get them a work permit because it's not important. I'm not saying any of that's not important. But worry does not add one day to your life. But you know what it does do? It creates children who are nervous. It creates parents who don't enjoy homeschooling and being with their children because they're too freaked out to enjoy it. It causes kids who go through, right here, imposter syndrome my entire life. I got into classes that I was sure I didn't deserve because if I wasn't crying because it was so hard, I must not be working hard enough. But if I was crying because it was so hard, clearly I wasn't well suited for it. So there was no way for me to win. And I picked that up from my mom. And I also picked up from my own neuroses. Don't get me wrong. Some neuroses you can't fix with your children. But I see so many parents who freak themselves out of savoring and enjoying this time with their kids. Now, where do I get off saying that? Been a mom for 23 years. My fourth child is graduating from high school in just a couple months. And I would not do anything to have traded the years and the time I've had with them. Even if it was times in which we go, you know what? Nobody feels like school today, so we're going to watch movies. We're going to watch my favorite, Pride and Prejudice. We're going to watch, Hamilton. We're going to watch Liberty's Kids. And no, I wasn't showing a kindergartner Hamilton, but age appropriateness in all things. You need to breathe deep. You need to, don't get me wrong. Oh, am I a planner? Let me just show you. These are my 2 planners I use every day, and I've got one online. I love a good planner. Do not get me wrong. And this is something I can easily get myself in a tailspin to. So I am not saying that I don't relate to this at all. That's why I know I'm right, because I've gone through it. But you make your plans. Remember, we raised our children. This is the plan, but plans change. My children are 23 to 17. You say that in any room and you just stop. This is the plan, and plans, and you'll hear from whatever room in the house, plans change, because that's a skill you can give your kids. I really recommend you look at why you're doing this. And I'm going to make some assumptions for you. Did I want to make sure that my children could go to whatever university they wanted and major in whatever they wanted to major in? Of course. But if you told me to write down my top couple plans and dreams and hopes for my children, their specific education's not in it. Calculus is not in it. And you're talking to somebody who 3 of my children did calculus 2 semesters in high school. They're predisposed to it. Do not compare yourself. My kids are freaks. Their father's a super genius. Don't compare. But those aren't my goals. And so and the other part is you're not a magician. I could not have said, and people seem to understand it when I give it to you this way. On one hand, it's like, I need my kid to be the perfect academic success. They need to do 2 semesters of calculus. They need to have a bachelor's degree before they graduate from high school. They need to do all these things. Well, guess what? That's not up to you. It's not up to you if they were in public school. It's not up to the teachers in public school. It's not up to people in private schools. It's not up to people who pour hundreds of thousands of dollars into education, because you can't control everything. So you might as well relax just a little bit, and enjoy the process. What do I mean? So let me give you examples that people truly understand. I want my kid to be the next, let's see, I'm trying to think of a functional version of Britney Spears, because Britney Spears was singing on the Mickey Mouse Club as a very young child, and that is natural talent. Yes, music classes can make it better, and you're talking to somebody, I love to sing and I don't sing well. I've taken choir, I've done stuff, I've done the work, and I can sound better when I'm practiced, but I'm not a naturally good singer. I'm never going to become that kind of pop star. I'm not going to be an opera singer. You know, if you want to take it out of the pop secular, I'm not going to be an opera singer. Just like I've watched parents through, like I live by Clovis Unified. I went to Clovis Unified. Parents who put so much money in travel teams, away games, and sports training, whose kids did not go to pro football. So you understand that there. Well, the same thing happens with academics. Now, I'm not saying don't give up. I'm not saying don't give them the training. Don't come up with a plan. Don't try to figure it out. But quit freaking out. You put a plan in order. You implement the plan. You change the plan to be more successful. And you relax. My goals for my children, I want them to love to learn. I want them to know how to learn. And those are secondary too. I want them to be, I'm a Christian. I want them to know God. And I still can't control that. I'll just tell you. And I want them to be functional, successful adults. And trust me, being a successful adult has a lot more to knowing how to start your laundry than it does whether or not you did calculus in high school. Now, I hear you, parents. I've grown up in California where there are some very successful people straight out of school. Well, but if you make enough money out of school, it doesn't matter if you can start your laundry. You'd like to think that, but when you have a kid who's puking on all your sheets, it doesn't matter how much money you have unless you have a full-time live-in housekeeper. And from day one. So unless, you're freaking out about giving them the $1 million at 18, I want them to be able to have relationships and get married if they want to, have children if they want to, and know that I've equipped them to have successful relationships. Academics are great. And you're talking to somebody, my family is the nerd family. I love learning. But that's not what it's about. Don't rob yourself of the joy of homeschooling your children by freaking out so much on how to make it turn out perfectly. Because the public schools can't make it turn out perfectly. The private tutors can't make it turn out perfectly. The private schools don't make it turn out perfectly. If not, we wouldn't all be so familiar with the rich playboy, who's frittering away the money and can't settle down and find anything to do. It's a trope for a reason, because the money doesn't magically guarantee anything. Neither does doing the right books at the right time. I don't know. Had to get that off my chest. Know that you are loved and you love your children. You will do the best you can, and that will be enough. It will. If you equip your children to learn how to learn for their learning style, and I say this because I got a kid with ADHD who's currently trying to be diagnosed with autism, who has a college degree before she started getting medicated. Yeah, before she ever got medicated for ADHD, I taught her how to learn for her. It's not the same for everybody. It isn't institutionalized. I taught her how to learn for her so that she can go out and be what she wants to be and learn anything I didn't teach her, she can pick up. That's the goal, isn't it? Know that you are loved. Know that you have got this, and I will help you in any way, shape, or form that I can. I'll share resources. I'll share tips and tricks. Come join together in a hive mind, because we learn from each other. And maybe I have an idea you don't have. Let me know what that is you struggle with, but know that freaking out more doesn't fix it. Okay? Know that you are loved. I will talk to you all later. Bye.